students, but it's helpful to review the state of the sport 70 years ago. The NBA is the product of two leagues. The BAA, the Eastern-based league that gave us the Knicks, the Celtics, the Philadelphia Warriors. The NBL, the Midwestern League that gave us the Lakers, the Hawks, the Pistons, and the teams now known as the 76ers and the Sacramento Kings. These two leagues merged in 1949, gave us the National Basketball Association. Before 1950, there were many leagues. One of the strongest was the American Basketball League, a league with diverse cultures. It had whistle-stop cities like Harrisburg and Trenton. It had teams based in Philadelphia and Washington, and a team in Wilmington. This league lasted for close to 20 years, an eternity in pre-war basketball. This league did have the best players in the East, including most of the Warriors' 1947 champions, and many who were enshrined in Springfield. In that league, there was Paul Chadick. Think of Nate Cloud, the local guy, gave credibility, local stature, and some good hops to this team struggling to put fans in the seat. He was, for close to a decade, was one of the leading scorers and rebounders for the Wilmington Blue Bombers. He was a graduate of Wilmington High School, Beacom College, and St. Joseph's. He was the third leading scorer for the Blue Bombers when they won the 1944 championship of this league, essentially becoming the Eastern Professional Basketball Champions. His children were also distinguished athletes, and we're lucky to have one of them. Miss Walsh, your first name, I forgot. Sorry. Terry Walsh. I knew it was two syllables, dang it. Okay. A graduate of St. Hedwig's High School. When was the last time we heard Terry Walsh is going to tell us about her distinguished father, one of the greatest basketball players in the first half of the century in the state, Paul Chadick.
My father would have been 95 this year. He passed away 14 years ago, though, last December. What I'm going to tell you today, I've written with the help of the late Matt Sabitka from the News Journal. I got a lot of help from him putting some of this information together. So I'm going to take you back and tell you a little bit about my father, Paul Chadick. Was born and raised in Wilmington on Reed Street. Started playing organized sports at the Boys Club on Jackson Street. And there's where he fell in love with basketball. My dad attended Wilmington High School, and he captained the Red Devils hoop team in 1936. He played 1 year of basketball at Beacom College, which was later to become Bodie Beacom, and then got a scholarship to St. Joe's. There, as a freshman, he cracked the starting lineup on a team that was heralded as the Mighty Mites, M-I-T-E-S, because they were mopping up the opposition while lacking any overwhelming height, because my father, in those days, was a giant at 6'1". After his college days, he joined Amsterdam with the New York State Basketball League. Later in the 40s, my dad became a key player on the late Bob Carpenter's original Wilmington Bombers. And this was of the old American League. They played all their home games Sunday afternoons at the Wilmington Armory on 10th and DuPont. And this was before capacity crowds. My dad said it was a very strong league in the days before the NBA. As a starter for the Bombers lineup, it comprised mostly of transplanted players from the New York Celtics team. Dad guessed they needed a local face, and he was the fortunate one to make the squad. He helped them to win 2 championships while there. The Bombers lasted about 5 or 6 years, and when they folded, he joined Trenton in the same league and also played professionally with Wilkes-Barre, Nanticoke, and Sunbury. During one of the games against Scranton, he got knocked into the bleachers and injured his back. That was in the late 40s and pretty much ended his career. My father said once that making the Bombers team and becoming a starter was one of the biggest thrills of his life. But I'm sure that another biggest thrill there would be for him would be this induction into the Delaware Basketball Hall of Fame. On behalf of my family and in memory of my